We have smooth seas. So there's the enemy. And we've got 4 ships here. So what I want is for you go to the side. Just wondering at what point do I tell them to submerge? Do I say submerge now?
Breaking formation.
So we'll have this guy go dead ahead. Right, he's at periscope depth. That's what we want. So actually, let's get the one that's furthest away to come up. And then as soon as the enemy starts shooting at him, we know the other 3 guys are within range. Ah! Didn't see it in time. All guns! See how many shots she got off on us there before we even managed to tell her to shoot. Well, that's bad. Now, I'm going to fire a torpedo with this guy. And he's going to think it came from that other ship. Which obviously it didn't. Let's go to us port side. I'm going to put one out there. The other one I'm going to place down just the left side in case she swerves to avoid the first one. And then I'll put the next one far over to her left. I've got one left. So hopefully that's a good spread. We won't know what's going to happen there until it happens. And then turn there and stop. Right, now this ship is perfectly in alignment, which is what part of our plan. Hello guys, good evening, how you doing? Welcome back to the Sim Shack. It is Thursday the 4th of April and I am Captain Sim UK. We're going to take a look at Victory at Sea Atlantic. The game comes out on the 5th of April 2024. So this is an early look. The devs have sent the key over. And I'm going to apologise in advance because this game is quite complex. And although I've watched all the tutorials, played all the tutorials and had a couple of practice goes, there are still quite a few gaps in my understanding of this title. But I will give it my best shot and maybe we'll learn along the way. Here we go. Mainland Europe has fallen to the relentless advance of the Nazi war machine, and the U-boats of the German Kriegsmarine prowl the Atlantic waters, determined to cut the British Isles off from vital North American supplies. The naval and air forces of Britain and its allies are on guard to thwart the ambitions of the Kriegsmarine. As Allied convoys brave the treacherous seas, the Navy's task is to ensure their safe passage in carrying the lifeblood of the war effort to Britain. The United States remains officially neutral, but we must continue to fight on in hopes the Americans will be persuaded to join their strength to the Allied cause. Oh, could do with that going a bit slower. Okay, so that's all very standard and straightforward. You'll notice it's all in black and white. They've actually added this feature to the game itself, so you can actually play the game in black and white should you want to.
Change the torpedo spread.
So when you change the torpedo spread,
change the number of launch torpedoes at the hostile ship.
Oh, I see. The number there goes up. So 4 is a very wide spread. 5, I think, is maximum. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go for the thinnest spread, because this guy is not moving at all. So I only have 5 torpedoes total. We got 3 in this little group and 2 up here. Looks like these 2 are going to miss. You lucky, 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 lucky fella. Right, where are the rest of my torpedoes? We may get lucky with that one. I think that one's going to be a miss as well. This is another thing I haven't quite wrapped my head around, is the time scale of things. Battles seem to take a really long time, and quite often there's no battle. Because the enemy just run away, or we run away, and nobody can catch anyone. But then it is early days in the war. It's 1940, so we don't have good sonar, we don't have good radar, we don't have good anything. Right, so we're going to enter combat, view it on the map. So, as you can see, he is nowhere near my arc of fire. Our teammate here has just fired off some hedgehogs. He missed him. Last time I did this, he hit the enemy. So I think what's happening here is that we've got a convoy. So they're keeping their distance at all times. So I'm going to have to pick this guy. See how he's just fired some hedgehogs there? That's reloading. See the depth charge going off the back. So according to this, he's over there somewhere. So I'm not steering the ship. The ship's being steered by the computer. And this one is just maintaining distance from us. So we're the ones that are going to try and hit him. Last time we hit and killed him with our first shot, which is why I didn't really understand how I hit him. This time I'm actually getting a bit of time to work on the kill. The other thing is, I don't feel like the radar or the sonar in this case is picking him up. Fire off multiple charges.
You have completed basic anti-submersible warfare training.
Gotta get him.
Return to the campaign map when ready.
It's not enough confirmation there. There's no oil slick coming up. There's no debris. There's nothing. I don't know if I sunk him or not. I'm still not entirely convinced I know what I'm doing there. Okay, so you've got power stations, which I believe can be upgraded to 3 stars. So I'm not sure why we didn't upgrade that rather than build a second one. But you've got to have a certain number of power cells or stars or units or whatever in order to power the items that are in that area. So these are still being built, so they're not actually active yet. But we put in a second power unit anyway. So at some point, these will both be built probably before this, but they won't actually work. So we need to get this thing down in order to make it work. I don't yet know how to upgrade. I click on that. It doesn't really sort of give me any information. So I'll have to wait until a tutorial comes up on that to figure that section out. So if we go back to our objectives, I now have to commission a ship. So we're starting off with 1,400 supplies, 419 food, and 949 recruits. They do increase every 7 days. And you can see here that we're making 0 food. I've got a lot of objectives to deal with. I've got to stockpile supplies, stockpile food, and stockpile enlisted men. Up to 7,000, and food as well. I've also got to build another 28 ships and another 100 aircraft. Okay, so ASW Patrol 2 has got an alert on it. Ammunition is low. So I'm probably going to send them back to base. Now, I can speed up time, but my concern is, when I was in combat, and I sped up the time, I got hit by torpedoes, but I had no warning that there were torpedoes coming in. So I don't quite know if the game stops when something important happens or what. But we can't continue at this pace because we've got to wait at least a week before any of this stuff is built. So I think we can go up to 100 times speed. You can see all of our patrols are out doing their thing. The AWS crew came back in
Enemy
here.
fleet spotted.
Okay, so it does seem to stop, and it brings it back down to ×1 as well. So the ASW Patrol 2, who are supposed to be going home, have discovered 2 submersibles. I would love to sink these. And these boys are probably submerged by now. If they're not running, then they're lining up an attack on us. Quite often, the crew will shout out periscope detected or something, and I'm not sure whether they've seen that with their eyes or on the radar. I've never seen a ship at all, submarine rather. And I believe that we are limited in the number of depth charges that we actually have on board. It's not a case of like destroy the U-boat hunter. We can just chuck depth charges off the back of the boat as much as you like. I don't think that applies here. By the way, if you're interested in looking at the other Victory at Sea titles, they're like 80% discount at the moment. So you can pick them up. You can pick up the original for about £3, I think. I wish it would zoom in on where my mouse is. Because every time I put the mouse where I want it to zoom in, and it zooms in on the middle, which is most infuriating. We are in a Corvette at the moment, 1940s.
Is this
So
WW2?
it is WW2. It's very early in the war. It's 1940. So the AWS technology is absolutely shocking. So shocking, it took me a while to figure out that we don't have sonar on this boat. I couldn't understand why we weren't tracking this guy underwater. It's because we have no sonar at this point in time. So unless these U-boats pop up out of the water again and take some shots at us, we're not going to see them. Now, I'm no professional at the... oh, for God's sakes. I'm struggling a bit with the controls at times. I'm no professional with the War at Sea series, although I have been playing a lot recently, trying to sort of hone my skills. I feel like the controls that you had on the boat in previous games were much better. Far more realistic and far more intuitive than they feel at the moment. So I'm struggling with that a little bit, and I'm wondering whether that's something that's going to have to change. If we can get to within half a square of them, I think we might have a chance of sinking one of them, or even both of them. Who knows? So, okay, this is interesting. As soon as they see a target, they are firing. So, is that something I can control? Can I tell them not... Oh, hang on. Have we sunk one? I think we've sunk one. Again, we've got no underwater cam. Bloody hell, we've sunk one. Interesting. I think it's very unlikely that this submarine would surface again, bearing in mind his teammate has just been shot to bits. He must know that he's been shot and sunk. Also, another thing I noticed is when one of your ships gets shot and sunk, there are no survivors, ever. So if we've just picked him up on sonar, I don't understand, because we don't have sonar. Unless he means radar, and it's just saying the wrong thing. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. So what happened is, he has surfaced. I think we hit him. There he is. That's definitely a hit. Crippled. Radar reduced. There you go. We've sunk them both. Decisive victory. I was very, very much looking forward to dropping some depth charges on these boys, though. Oh, it's the planes. That's what that little sticky out bit is. Okay. I think we missed. I think we've missed. Ah, we missed. No. Are we going to hit him? Yes. Oh, here we go. This is what I was talking about. So I don't know why I couldn't go underwater earlier when we were sinking ships. Just, it wouldn't let me go underwater. I don't know why. Don't run, your keys will jiggle in your pocket. I'm going to run. I am going to run. I can't see any other alternative. We've got this tiny little Corvette that's not going to be able to do anything against these boys.
Corvette has to stand and fight valiantly while the others run.
So this ship is done already, look. That's the noise you want to hear underwater. But how do I get underwater? I can't get the underwater cam to work. It's really upsetting me. There's a bird's eye view camera. He's agile. And he's got depth charges. That's all he's got. So the battleship has turned around and it's going home. He's not even slightly interested in getting involved in this little fight. It'd be kind of interesting to see if you can actually avoid being hit. I imagine the closer I get to them, the more accurate they're going to get. To be honest, it's only going to take one shot and we'll be done. See if I can get some shots on these boys. That's another one down. Oh, it's the Corvette. They've hit her. I really wish it would go back to 0. Like, you know, 1 times speed when something important happens. Like, oh look, it works now. That's so strange. I don't know why it doesn't work all the time. No doubt it's something I'm doing, but anyway, there she goes. I don't think she even got a shot off. Do not have it selected, is that what it was? Right, there we go. Deliver cargo here. There we go. Right, okay, so he might survive now that we've done that. So that's a good move. He's already going that way. He's going back, he's going back, he's going back. And he looks like he's going that way as well. Okay, that should be fine then. Short term, we've made a solution there. Let's hope we can catch up with these guys and get a bit of payback. So we're going to have to sink this guy if we want to catch these guys. That's basically what's going to happen. We have smooth seas. So there's the enemy. And we've got 4 ships here. So what I want is for you to go to the side. Just wondering at what point do I tell them to submerge? Do I say submerge now?
Breaking formation.
So we'll have this guy go dead ahead. Right, he's at periscope depth. That's what we want. So actually, let's get the one that's furthest away to come up. And then as soon as the enemy starts shooting at him, we know the other 3 guys are within range. Again, I have no real information telling me how deep this submarine is. But I couldn't see. Ah! Didn't see it in time. All guns! See how many shots she got off on us there before we even managed to tell her to shoot. Well, that's bad. Now, I'm going to fire a torpedo with this guy. And he's going to think it came from that other ship. Which obviously it didn't. Let's go two to us port side. I'm going to put one out there. The other one I'm going to place down just the left side in case she swerves to avoid the first one. And then I'll put the next one far over to her left. I've got one left. So hopefully that's a good spread. We won't know what's going to happen there until it happens. And then turn there and stop. Right, now this ship is perfectly in alignment, which is what part of our plan. So torpedoes, single shot. Oh, we've got a hit, I think. Lock on target. Yes! I think we've hit her. Oh man, we hit her with like all of those. Look how close that one was. The first one must have hit her. I can't believe it. I really didn't expect that to happen. We were just about to send another load in there. Decisive victory. How much damage did our submarine take? That's the question. I feel bad now. I wasted all those torpedoes. I needn't have fired more than one. It's really hard to hit a ship that's coming straight at you. That was, I think, more luck than judgment. But I'll take it. I'll happily take that. First shot, first kill. So we sunk her and we didn't take any damage at all. That's surprising. I thought we got hit. That's going to do wonders for our morale. Right. Well, there's a bit of payback. Let's go get these boys. They sunk 7 of our ships. So there's a bit more killing coming their way. In that direction. I can actually see him better from this view, I think. Where's the other one? He might just be the decoy. Is that the other one? Bloody hell, I think it is, you know. It is. They've gone straight past both of them. So one's here and one's over here. Let's try and not sail into our own ships, shall we? So technically, having done my job, I think I'll leave those two. We know they're there and we'll go hunt them, but not with this ship. Yeah, I think we're safe. I'm a bit nervous to auto-resolve, but I think we're safe. I'm going to put Squadron, whatever his name is, back into that. We'll stick to grid formation. We'll send everybody. But notice there's no land mass here either. Can't quite figure out where the open sea is. Thinking it might be in that direction. Textures are a bit flaky on some of the ships, but the modelling is decent. See all the machine gun mounted elements here. Another one up there. All the life buoys and the lifeboats. cannon on the back. Nice. Merchant Navy. The unsung heroes of World War II. Right, I'm going to try and auto-resolve this, and my fingers are crossed that we're safe.
Abandoned ship.
Oh, you're joking. How did that happen? I'm not sure I follow that, because submerged, there's no way they could have caught up with us. So frustrating. They went straight past the convoy. They had no interest in us whatsoever. They didn't surface. They submerged. They disappeared. They're going to be slower than us. How on earth did they even catch us up? So anyway, HMS 𝗏𝗂𝗃 has been sunk, which is really bad news, but at least it wasn't one of the convoy ships, and we sunk one of theirs, so not a total loss, but
Enemy fleet spotted.
really not good. Do we... Oh my god! Wow! That's the most on fire I think I've ever seen anything. Hasta la vista, baby. So we do have anti-tank gun. We do have anti-aircraft guns on here. That's not an anti-aircraft gun. But these guys are firing anti-aircraft guns, so maybe we get lucky.
Repel.
Oh! Take that, Fritz! I like that. Oh! Was that it? That whole battle was just for the aeroplane. Okay, what about the submarines then? I guess they didn't catch us up. But you've got to wonder, where did that aircraft come from? So, what do? Do I drastically change my direction?
People who were on these ships back then were so brave.
Like, honestly, these tiny little corvettes, genuinely, they should never have been out there. From what I understand, there was no cover. The Royal Navy was under the impression that if you let sailors get too comfortable, they get lazy. So they deliberately designed them to be cold and uncomfortable, and they really were. But then equally, you know, the merchant navy, these guys, not military trained, they didn't join up to go to war. They knew the U-boats were hunting them, and they still went out time and time again. So many were sunk. And in the First World War as well. You know, we didn't learn anything in the First World War. We just let it all happen again, which is really stupid. They pop up every now and then just to see where things are. But the problem is, if I auto-resolve now, there's nothing to stop them from just popping up completely, hot-tailing it over here and cutting back in. So on this next turn, if we don't see them by the time we've reached here, I'm going to assume that they've broken off the attack, and we'll just go and rejoin the oil tankers. Oh, speak of the devil. I think the game may have forced my hand. It looks like it may have crashed. I'm noticing over here on the written readout that campaign initializing is false. Game loading is false. That never sounds like a good thing, especially when it says loading here. Ships loading true. Loading textures 0 out of 92. False. That's not working. Loading models 0 out of 4, so that's not loading. Dare I say it seems easier, even though it's meant to be more realistic. But I like the fact that we are creating the ships, creating the convoys, creating the fleets that will be defending all of these crossings and so on and so forth. Trying to manage that. There's a whole host of stuff that we haven't got into. There's espionage, there are spies, there are the ability to go into Europe and disrupt their manufacturing and their intelligence forces and so on and so forth. And then, of course, we've got to, stockpile enough stuff so that we can create D-Day, and then we've got to launch D-Day attack. A whole bunch of stuff that I haven't even got into yet. But like I say, I know it does look like it's crashed, but the version I'm playing, and this was made very clear to me, is not the version that will be released on the 5th of April. That will be an early access game, but this, what I'm playing today, is like an early access game. So this is maybe a month old, or maybe even older than that, I don't know. And other than this little crash here, it has been working fine. I haven't really had any issues with it at all. It has been working. A few little audio bugs, and I really hope that the underwater camera is as good as it used to be in the other games, which, again, in case you missed it, are 75 and 85% off on Steam at the moment. So you can grab yourself a real bargain there. If this is your first sort of venture into the Victory at Sea series, well worth getting. Go check out other people's reviews, don't take my word for it. Go watch 𝗏 in Exile is a player who plays it a lot, and there's a guy called 𝗏𝘂𝗯𝘀𝗂𝗯𝗲 something, can't think of his name. If you just type that in though, Victory at Sea 𝗏𝘂𝗏𝗏, I'm sure he'll pop up. Both very good at the game, very entertaining YouTubers, far better at the game and YouTubing than I am. So go check them out if you don't think this game is for you. But genuinely, I've had a lot of fun playing all the other versions, and I'm having fun playing this version. But this one is quite different. Wolfgang. Is it Wolfgang, Tez? Wolfgang, maybe. Is it Wolfgang? I'm not sure. Whatever it is, I'm sure you can find it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to go to bed. Maybe have a cup of tea before I go to sleep. But thank you for watching. This has been the first look at Victory at Sea Atlantic. I can't wait until the 5th of April when it releases properly. And any Warrior 1405. Do you play this game as well, mate? I didn't know that. Well, if you do, then very cool. Yeah. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Goodbye for now.